Hi, so my name is Naluki and welcome to my channel. So today's video is gonna be a girl chit chat. Um, I really wanted to talk about some of the craziest things that we end up doing because of maybe the relationships we're in, or the person that we think we love, or the person that we want, which is a lot. And I really wanted to talk about that. I'm gonna share my experiences, but before I do want to make a point that you see, I think that as millennials, as young people, there's this thing called relationships that really hinders us, whether it's by choice or the relationships that we just end up in. That in itself is still a choice nonetheless, but I think relationships really affect us. They really affect our lives. So we put in so much money, so much time, emotions, and we just we pour in so much of ourselves that it hinders a huge part of our lives. Now, whether a relationship is good or not, that's a discussion for another day. But that also determines how it affects our lives and how we progress, whether it's in our career, in our personal lives, or our education. It doesn't matter what it is, but it does affect it. Unfortunately, that is the reality of the times we're living in. Now, one of the things I learned really quickly, I'll tell you, was one of the best ways to survive, especially in your 20s, is learning to move on quickly. And what that means is that not holding on to things too tightly. So learning to move on quickly from jobs, situations, relationships, people, and just anything that doesn't just help you to grow, make you a better person, bring you more money, learning to move on from those things very quickly. But before I learned to move on quickly from things, situations, and people and relationships, I did and made some crazy decisions in the name of, oh, I love him. Oh, I'm in a relationship. I have got to do this. So that's what we're going to talk about. And before I get into it, I would just like to ask that you just please click the subscribe button down below and just subscribe to my channel and share this video and get everybody to subscribe and follow and share. Yeah, okay. So I'll be honest with you, I'm going to be a little bit candid and you just have to be prepared for it. But I made a lot of crazy decisions, and perhaps this is why I can speak with confidence what especially young ladies should not and should tolerate in a relationship. Okay? So, for me, one of the craziest things I did, and I am not proud of this, was so there was this guy that I was trying to get to know. I wasn't necessarily dating, I was just trying to get to know him, you know? You know when you've seen someone you like and you're just like weighing the situation, trying to make yourself visible, but you don't want to be too forward. Anyway, it was one of those for me. I used to talk to him a lot on the phone. Now, the phone bill those days wasn't cheap. There was no WhatsApp. There was no. Those days we only had MySpace in High Five, and there was no calls. and MSN hadn't started with the messenger. So anyway, I used to call this guy every day using my mom's phone, and I racked up a bill. It was a huge bill. I'm so ashamed to tell you guys. It was like, it was so huge. I thank God for my mother that she forgave me. But I'll be honest, the bill was over like £2,000. Yes. And if I'm being honest, I wish I knew that the relationship wouldn't work out. I probably wouldn't have put that much money, time, and effort into it, you know? Yes, my mother found out and I was grounded. Okay, she couldn't ground me because I pretty much used to stay in the house. I couldn't go out. And yeah, she ended up just telling me no computer for some time. Yeah, but hey, we learn some. That was one of those things. But I would never do that now. Never. So the other thing I did, I remember, is so there's this guy that I liked. I didn't date him. Okay, this one I really liked him. Like I really thought this was it. I was like, this has to work. This is good. You know, this guy's a good catch, and I like him, and I thought it was gonna work. You know, so if you're me, you fall in love hard. You know, you like once I used to be that person where like once I like someone, it's deep, it's done, you know. So anyway, his birthday came, and it was the first birthday that we were sharing while we were in each other's lives. Our relationship was very undefined. We were not boyfriend and girlfriend, but we were in each other's lives. You know, I genuinely thought it was gonna go into like a dating thing. So on his birthday, I walked into a shop and I bought him a watch. I'm so ashamed to say this. I went into a shop and I literally bought one of the most expensive watches I have ever seen, and I bought that watch for his birthday. I thought it was like really grand, and honestly speaking, that's one of those things. It was crazy. I don't regret it, but I wouldn't do that now. You know, no, I actually would not, you know, and I guess it's different now because I'm married, so it's okay for me to go crazy and buy stuff for my husband. But that was just a guy that I wasn't even dating, and I bought it in a watch that was like almost 300 pounds. I know. But hey, we learned some. And then we didn't even date, okay? And it became so complicated that it was just a lot. But hey, I learned my lesson never to assume you're gonna date someone unless they ask you out, you know, unless they commit to you. So yeah, that was again another mistake, you know. And I know that like a lot of us made those crazy decisions, you know. So like the other thing for me I used to do is like I'm a giver. I'm like a huge, when I'm in a relationship I want to pour out everything that I have, you know. And sometimes everything I have is just like cooking. So I remember when I used to live by myself as a single woman, one of the things I love to do, I still do, I love cooking. So I found myself cooking a lot. And if I'm cooking, if I know that like maybe someone's coming over, I'll make sure that I cook everything and I show them how good I am at cooking to impress them. You know, they will not spend a dime trying to buy the food that I'm gonna cook, but I'll still cook for them. And I remember I was dating this guy who, not even one day did he say like, oh, you know what, let me buy a drink, or like, oh no, let me buy tomato, or let me buy just some onions because you're gonna cook. Nothing. But me, what did I do every day? Run to Food Lovers Market, buy all the vegetables, buy everything, because I know he's coming. Cook. My friend, I learned this because my friend once told me that, you know, this is a skill that you have. It's a benefit that you bring to the relationship. You're really good at serving and cooking and stuff. It doesn't mean that you should give it to everybody that comes into your life. It doesn't mean that every man that comes into your space has the privilege to enjoy it and have access to it. So sometimes just keep it to yourself. Oh my days. From that time, I stopped cooking. It's so unfortunate that I learned that and then I met my husband. And when he was my boyfriend, I never used to cook for him. I used to not cook. Or if I cook, most likely we've gone to the shop together, he's bought food, and then I come and cook. Otherwise, I was just like, nope, I'm not doing that. I did that too many times. So yeah. Now I hope no one has done this, but I did this, and sometimes I sit back and I think, what could I have done with all of that money? Here is what I did. So I was dating this man, very serious relationship, and he wasn't working, okay? He was just doing stuff. He wasn't working. I was working. I used to, every time I get paid, he would talk to me in such a way that I end up giving him everything I get paid. And I mean it. I get my pay slip, I remove my tithe, I remove my transport money, and everything I give him. What did he use it for? Did he even buy me anything? What did he do with it? He paid his rent. He bought food for his house where he lived by himself. I lived with my parents, but I was working to give him money to pay rent. I genuinely hope that when I have a child, I have a conversation with them like, never, ever, ever give a man your money. Like, it was a difficult time in my life, and if I'm being honest, that was the most difficult relationship I have ever been in, and I never want to wish that kind of a relationship on anybody, because it was horrible, and that's not what love should be. But yeah, I did that, and to today, it's one of those relationships that I want to forget like it ever happened to me. I want to forget that I ever did stuff like that, because I think when sometimes when we do these crazy things, it may look like you, it's easy to blame other people and say because they did this, but it's what's on the inside of you. What is driving your decisions to do those things? What makes you think that you would need to do more and more and more just to satisfy your partner, for them to love you, for them to be nice to you? You know, you don't even need to do that. I once I realized that love is just given. You don't, I don't have to impress you to like, you know, I don't have to, I don't know if you're getting what I mean, but love is free, you know. Yes, there are things you need to work on in a relationship. Trust, you need to give each other, you need to be there for each other. Yes, there are all those things, but when you love someone, you mustn't want them to earn your love by the stuff they do for you. I just don't think it should be like that. Anyway, I digress. That is how that relationship was. And yes, I used to work and give him money. You know, the crazy thing is that I would work and I wouldn't even buy myself nice clothes. I wouldn't even buy myself. I remember one time going to town, my friends were like, why are you wearing those shoes? You know, like, why are you dressed like that? You work all the time, but we're not seeing anything that you're doing with your money. When I explained to them, they're like, girl, no, don't do that. So yeah, never, you know. And if I'm being honest, I only had the experience of a man like taking care of me when I met my now husband. Before that, I never knew that a guy could be like, I got you, you know, I will look after you and help you, you know. I never knew there was that kind of thing. Anyway, that's that. Um so yeah, I have made some pretty crazy decisions. Oh, also there was this guy, I've probably already talked about him. This is not the guy that I liked. And okay, this one I was dating, I really liked him. I didn't like him, I loved him. I was in a relationship with him. And you know, I remember one time I discovered that there's this girl that used to call him there's a girl that used to call him. So you know what, I so one time he was over at my place and his phone rang, and I noticed that there was you know, women, we just know stuff. So there was a girl that used to call him. So one time she called him when we were in the cinema. He picked up. I knew that no one picks up in the cinema, you text. Anyway, that was sign number one. Number two, he was over at my house, and then he picked up, and all he kept saying was yeah. Oh, how are you? Okay. There was too many uh-huhs. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna find out. Anyway, I found out in the end. By the end of that evening, I had gotten his phone. I grabbed his phone from him. Yes, I grabbed his phone from him. And I locked him out of my house. And I called the girl. And I asked her. I was like, sis, what's the story here? You know, has he told you he's in a relationship? Why do you keep calling him and having all these crazy conversations with him? I know, I talk about girl empowerment and women empowerment. I shouldn't have called her, but I did. And I just asked her, like, how would you feel if you had a man and I was calling him like that all the time, and you people are saying that you're just friends? If you're really friends, why am I not your friend? I will be your friend too. We're gonna be friends, the three of us, you know? And yeah, that's how that died, thankfully. But I don't think I would call somebody now, because I think the person who's responsible is the person that you're in a relationship with, not any woman or anyone out there. For me, that was like literally one of the crazier things I ever did. I called that girl. But you know, even crazier than that, you know what I did? The next day, I woke up and I text her using his phone. I was like, you know what? No, in fact, no. I used my phone. I was like, you know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have called you. It's so unlike me. I'm not this kind of a person. I apologize. I was literally just piling on and piling on and piling on, you know? And yeah, I think that's like another one of my crazy things that I did. The last one was, I thought my boyfriend was going to propose, right? I went and did my nails. These nails were so expensive. They were so expensive. I did my nails. I was like, I told the lady who was doing my nails that, listen, today is the day you need to make my hand look ready. My makeup artist, I told her, and she can even vouch for me. I told her I was going to this event and I thought he was going to propose. And I told her that you just have to make me look very, ready. And she did her best. I went there. Basically, the proposal didn't happen. And by the end of the night, we were having a fight on the verge of breaking up because I stormed out of the place. I stormed out of the event before the event finished. So yeah, I really just wanted to share this with you guys and say, if you have some crazy things in your past, it's okay. It's part of life. What matters is making sure that you're overcoming those things and you're getting better and better every day. Learning to move on quickly, as I have said. Don't let the things that you've done in your past hold you back from having a better life, a better relationship, and moving forward. Those things are behind you. And if you're honest and open about them, no one can ever use them against you. No one can ever use them to put you down. You're an overcomer. So go ahead and overcome. Thank you for watching. Thank you.